Thank you. Today, Cge-Nigeria is 1 year old. It was on the 15th of June 2017 that we launched Cge-Nigeria with a full purpose of bridging the gap between academia and industry. You all agree with me that the gap between the academia and industry has established a gulf that has been termed the Valley of Death. In the Valley of Death, what has encompassed that place is unemployment and unemployability. Therefore, one of the key responsibilities of Cge-Nigeria through eco-innovation is to bridge that gap. And we are doing that today with the infusion of the triple helix, where we invite government, the industry, and the academia to have a mutual vision for economic development and also the sustainability of the environment. Cge-Nigeria was fashioned out from Cge Lancaster, and today we have Cge Lancaster as the mothership and Cge-Nigeria the battleship. Today's summit is one of the major assignments of the Center for Global Eco-Innovation Nigeria, University of Benin. And this summit has been timed Eco-Innovation Investment Summit and Recirculate Summit. It is going to talk and dwell exhaustively on eco-innovation and its role in the development of this country. It's also going to provide an insight into Recirculate, the Recirculate ambassadors in the populace of the University of Benin. Recirculate is a project that is sponsored by the Global Challenge Research Fund of the UK, and this grant was won in partnership of our lead institution, the Lancaster University, UK, the University of Benin, Lancaster, Ghana, and the CSIR, Ghana. And this grant is up to the tune of 6.7 million, and it's going to run for 4 years for capacity building. You did not hear me. And I assume so properly too. Because if you did, you would have known that it's a very huge grant and has an enormous responsibility of capacity building. I will lead you into some of the activities that have occurred in the last few months under the Recirculate project. The Recirculate project, as part of this compartment, had five workshops. They were all held in Ghana. The first of all was the knowledge exchange, and a total of 14 participants were from the University of Benin and its wider community. The second workshop was on water and energy, and we have 12 participants from the University of Benin and its wider community. Incidentally, this particular work package is domiciled in the University of Benin as part of our partnership benefits. There was another workshop on innovation. We had 7 participants. There was one workshop on food production. We had 6 participants. And there was one on health and sanitation. We had 6 participants. On the whole, University of Benin and its wider community had 46 participants attending this workshop in Ghana, all expenses borne by the Recirculate project. It will also interest you to know that a very special package was arranged for the senior executives of the partnering institutions, and the University of Benin was represented at that workshop by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ruese, the Registrar, Mr. Shodi, and our bossa, Dr. Bababila, and they had a fruitful discussion, and I'm sure by September an international launch will be made and we had a wider participation in that program. It is important for us to know that this project is not a child's play. The University of Benin, as I speak now, have 22, the University of Benin and its wider community has 22 applicants and delegates who have been qualified and have awarded residency program for a minimum of 4 weeks now in Lancaster. What that means, therefore, is that the capacity building projects have actually kicked off. I dare to say that some of our staff are already in Lancaster University going through this program. Others will be going on after now and in phases. This same program has a postdoc project. There is an availability for two postdoctoral programs, all fully sponsored by this project. There is also availability of one 18-month project for 3 other candidates, research candidates for the University of Benin, all of them duly sponsored by this project. There is also availability of academic and research travel grants for qualified and dependable, reliable researchers to benefit from this project. Therefore, the University of Benin will do everything within our intellectual capacity to ensure that we not only protect, but we make sure that this project benefits our researchers and the capacity building project is enhanced. Thank you. Thank you. As part of this welcome address, it will interest you to know that we have dependable partners outside our international partners. But our international partners still remain our partnership, so it is in Lancaster University, a relationship that has been built over the last 8 years. Culminated into the formation of Cge-Nigeria, and now one of the deliverables is the Recirculate project. With the Recirculate project, we have wider community members who are now bona fide partners of the project. And I would like to introduce them again in no other priority or importance. And I'll start with the Standard Organization of Nigeria. They have accepted to partner with us. We have an MOU that has been modified for this purpose, and they will be signed today. Nigeria is also here present. Actually, the Director General is supposed to be here, but cannot make it because of the Executive Director's visit for the United Nations. I was equally invited for that program for tomorrow, but I cannot leave my home base. So I've asked the Secretary General of Nigeria Environmental Society to represent me. So but Nigeria is here, and they will also sign their MOU. I'm happy to say that during one of our partnership visits, we were in Benin, and we met with the acting director, acting DG, and his team. We were well received, and Benin made a commitment, which is very vital, that with the MOU we are about to sign today, we will be able to provide internship programs for our students in the University of Benin. Can I also let you know that Raw Materials Development Research and Development Council, they are here today. Mrs. Tanko here has been the facilitator. We met with the DG, and during the course of the panel session, she will reel out a concept note that will meet the expectations of this university, a project that is dear to their heart and also dear to the University of Benin, for which the country at large will benefit. I will not let the cat out of the bag. We all have other partners like Presco. Presco is one of our fundamental partners, and they've employed our students under the same project, Academia Industry Merger. We also have LAPO as a partner. Incidentally, one of us is doing a sabbatical there, which is the essence of Academia Industry Fusion. We also have Hugh Fans here. It's a wider community member, but now graduated to partnership. Please can you start for recognition? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me also let you know as I conclude that we also have Recirculate Associates. Sometime 3 months ago, Cge-Nigeria, through the University of Benin website, called for capacity assessment, competence profiling, and faculty capacity profiling. I'm happy to announce today that we have 181 staff of the University of Benin that have registered in the capacity assessment program for Cge-Nigeria. The essence of this is therefore to help them to engage the industries of need in the future. The same thing with the faculty profiling, to help the faculty grow interesting industries and invest in government policy to ensure that this measure that we are really clamoring for comes into concrete existence. I will therefore conclude by wishing all of us wonderful deliberation. The stage is really packed. The action is exciting. Knowledge exchange is the key. And I wish you all well. Thank you.
Please, let's once again appreciate our chairman and director. As I said, we say that he has actually opened the doors to so many of our people to benefit from international exchange programs. Please, Mr. Chairman, before we go on, I want to recognize the registrar of our university, and who is also the secretary to council, person of Mrs. O.A. Oshodi, who is being represented here by deputy registrar and secretary to the School of Postgraduate Studies, person of Barrister Richmond Omagrini. I've been reliably informed also from the attendance that we have here the Director of Audit of our university, person of Mrs. F.A. Obaide. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Thank you so much. And then we also have here, but no relationship, we have the Director, Uniben Step B Project, in the person of another, this time Professor S.E. Obaide, but no relationship. So, because the first one I said is the wife of our warlord emeritus. That is Professor Koto himself. We also, Mr. Chairman, want to welcome the chief executives in their own rights. We're talking of among the ambassadors circulate. We have the MD, Hugh Farms, the person of Mr. Joe Allside. Thank you so much for being here with us. I think you were recognized earlier. So send us something from your farm later for second recognition. And then we want to recognize, many don't know, but he's a doctor. But at the same time, one of the greatest entrepreneurs and innovators and of course, businessman and engineer in our midst, MD Brightness Engineering. We are talking of Brightness Ogewonyi. This is the man that you see all the time that can help you with stabilizers that don't fail, especially with the light problems in Nigeria. We also have here present the state chairman, Nigeria Environmental Society, Edo State Chairman, in the person of Professor I.T. Agui, that is Tito Ri, we call him. Lord Tito, thank you so much for being here with us. So, at this stage, as we have said, we have to keep moving. Let me clear protocol-wise. You don't just invite a chief executive to speak. Those that are learning from me, you go and confirm first whether they are ready. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. You know, we've been talking of international connections, UNIBEN being a hub in terms of activities involving Great Lancaster University and others. We are also, at this time, Nigeria and through the University of Benin, we have Professor O.C. Izion, who is co-coordinator with our DVC admin of the EU Nepal Center of Excellence in Water Science and Technology. Professor Izion, where are you again? Wait to us. Thank you. Our co-director. When we mention EU, it means they deal in euro, and euro is very powerful. So take note of that. And so we now want to invite the representative of our Vice Chancellor, the person, of course, you know our Vice Chancellor well, the tall, elegant, soft-spoken, but very result-oriented Vice Chancellor, Professor F.F. Oruwense, who is being represented ably by the international man we now know, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor J.O. Eyorubo, to now also address. Please welcome him. Thank you so much. Movement. Okay. So they have the VC's microphone.
Our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. The Vice Chancellor and other members of management would have loved to be here this morning, but unfortunately, as I was entering Benin yesterday from Abuja, they were all moving away to Eket for the burial ceremony of a member of our governing council that passed on recently. So that is why you see most members of our management are not here. So what I'm presenting to you is the Vice Chancellor welcome address. So I won't add to it. I'm very delighted to welcome the special guest of honor, the keynote speaker, Executive Governor of Abia State, His Excellency Okezia Victor Ikpeazu, guest of honor, guest speakers, plenary champions, partners and participants representing the academia, industry, and the government to the Center for Global Eco-Innovation, Cge-Nigeria, Investment and Recirculate Summit with the theme, Fast-Tracking Eco-Innovation in Nigeria through Triple Helix Engagement. At about this time last year, a unique collaboration between the University of Benin, Lancaster University, and African Union Scientific Technical Research Commission bettered the Center for Global Eco-Innovation Nigeria, University of Benin, precisely on the 15th of June 2017. It is important to state, however, that the relationship between University of Benin and Lancaster University predates this event. The strategic partnership with Lancaster University was born out of the need for internationalization of the University of Benin and knowledge exchange. This partnership has grown with visible and monumental success. I can proudly say that we already have a visiting professor to Lancaster University, UK, in the person of our very own Professor Lawrence Ezemoyen, who was appointed last year as a visiting professor to the University of Lancaster. We also have two Commonwealth Professional Fellows from this collaboration. On our part, Professor Kate Sempo, who already, like he told you, has got citizenship of Benin Kingdom, who has been very consistent and pivotal in this whole collaborative process, was recently announced as a visiting professor to the Faculty of Life Sciences, University of Benin. So you will be seeing me here more often. Only recently, the University of Benin, a joint bid with Lancaster University, UK and Ghana, and the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Ghana, won the Global Challenge Research Fund grant with the Recirculate project. Recirculate has thus become the major platform on which eco-innovation is now being driven in Africa. The capacity building component for a safe circular water economy has already held 6 training workshops in Accra, Ghana this year, and the University of Benin is a major beneficiary from these trainings. Some staff of the University of Benin that bidded for and won residency slots at Recirculate Ambassador stemming from the capacity building workshop are currently on residency training in Lancaster University. On a concluding note, I must express my profound gratitude to Your Excellency, the Governors of Edo State and Abia State for their support and encouragement. My appreciation also goes to Professor Nige Paul, the Director of Center for Global Eco-Innovation, Lancaster Environment Center, and Principal Investigator for Recirculate, Professor Kip Temple, and Dr. Akan Odon, a worthy alumni of the University of Benin. We have a lot of them all over the world. We are asking them to come back and contribute here. My special thanks go to Cge-Nigeria partners who have embraced the triple helix model, and we will be endorsing it with the signing of an MOU in this event. I wish all our strategic partners, Recirculate ambassadors, and invited guests a successful summit. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Please, let's appreciate our Vice Chancellor and his representative. Thank you so much, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, going by our program, I now want to invite His Excellency representative, His Excellency the Governor of Edo State, our own Godwin Obaseki, who is being represented here by the Commissioner of Education in Edo State. That is Barrister Agbale, to please now give His Excellency's remarks. Please, let's welcome him to do that. Take the places.
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to write with the already established protocol. I bring you good will message from Mr. Governor, who would have loved to be here in person, but is presently presiding over the State Executive Council meeting. But because of his interest in the topic and in your programs and activity, he has directed that I represent him at this ceremony. Mr. Governor is quite delighted with the activities of the Center for Global Eco-Innovation, Nigeria University of Benin chapter, and has asked that the state would love to identify with the center. He's also delighted at your triple helix model, which suggests an interaction between industry, the ivory tower, and government for sustainable development, particularly in the present-day knowledge economy. Mr. Governor sends his felicitations and has also promised to provide very enabling policy, environment, and regime for your activities to thrive. We also want to, the government also congratulates you on your 1 year of the establishment of this center, because from your address, it was established a year ago, and the fact that you have been able to sustain the intensity with which you have pursued aggressively your core mandate, he is glad, and he expects that the interaction between your university and your foreign partners will translate into researches that will assist our industry and economy to grow. The summit has been arranged to strategically propagate research-led projects with real input. And in this connection, the district government has also aligned its initiatives and policies, particularly in the establishment of the industrial park in Benin, the activities of government in respect of reform of the education sector, because you need the intellect of this sector to drive your process of research. And government recognizes the fact that the basic education sector is the most fundamental. That is the point at which foundation for growth of intellect is built. And for that reason, we have invested hugely in transforming that sector, particularly with the technology deployment in teaching our children at the primary school. The government has also emphasized the need for technical and vocational education, and that explains the huge investment that we have put into revamping all our technical colleges, starting with the technical college in Benin. And in addition, the government is also locating an industrial park in the technical college to create a nexus between the industry and the technical colleges, so that the products of the technical colleges will be products that are designed to meet industry needs. Having said the activities of government, I want to congratulate you for the success of being able to hold this summit, and wish you that you have very meaningful deliberations that will translate into visible and tangible results. On that note, as the special guest of honor, I declare this summit open. Thank you.
Please, let's again appreciate the Governor's Rep, His Excellency, the Wind and Sea Governor of Edo State, Aaron Obaseki, His Excellency, that is being represented here by the Honorable Commissioner. We are aware that our keynote speaker is now almost here with us. There is a slight adjustment to the program, but before I point out that adjustment, there is what we call first MC immunity which is anything you say here cannot be held against you when you are here, even if a judge is here, it's already forgiven. And the other is the right to play with protocol as well. It's in that regard that I want to specially recognize these personalities that we've been working closely together at different fora. I'm pleased to announce to you that the lady you used to see on NTA is here with us very quickly. Dr. or Mrs. Benedicta Yanire, thank you for being with us. And then my brother and friend, Dr. Barrister Umoru, one of the ambassadors, you're welcome. And then a very senior professor, former commissioner in this state, Professor Mrs. Kaduri. Thank you for being here. And then the greatest constituency, I was almost forgetting them, where I was #1 before. Talking of the greatest University of Benin students, the greatest university students, the greatest university students, the greatest of the greatest of the greatest university students. I know we still there together. So, on that note, as I have said, we are adjusting the program with the permission of Mr. Chairman. We are moving now very quickly to the plenary session. So, we're going to run into business. And so that when His Excellency joins us, he will give his keynote address. And so, it is now my pleasure to invite the Director of Center for Global Eco-Innovation, Lancaster University, UK, Professor Paul Nigel, to now give his own presentation. Please, let's encourage him. And remember that earlier on today, he has greeted you as my people, my people. So welcome him very well. Thank you.
We just have to get the technology working, so bear with me. So if I may, I'll stand on existing protocol and simply say it's a real pleasure to be with you all this morning, and an honour. It's great to stand here and look out at all of you from academia, from industry, and from government, and to see the real progress that Cge-Nigeria has made over the last 12 months. My job today is really to put that progress in the context of our experience in Lancaster in growing the Centre for Global Eco-Innovation there over the last 5 years or so. So I'll talk about that, and then my colleague Kurt Semple will talk a bit more about the Recirculate project. So as I said, the Centre for Global Eco-Innovation is only 5 years old. In that time, its success has been recognised in the UK through the award of 2 national prizes for driving interactions between university research and business, and for supporting knowledge exchange. But if you look at the words on the screen, it immediately begins to get us thinking about the triple helix. So it's about universities. And even in the UK, it's not just about Lancaster, it's about a partnership of now 5 universities in the Northwest working together to drive forward this eco-innovation agenda, or if you like, driving forward clean and sustainable growth. It's about businesses, and for us in the UK, especially about small and medium-sized enterprises. But of course, it's also about government, that third part of the triple helix. And in our case, it's the European Regional Development Fund that delivers the financial support, which allows us to support businesses to create jobs and to drive economic development. So that, I think, is a classic example of the triple helix. It's universities, businesses and governments working together. But I think in the context of this investment summit, the real question is why? Why do those partners get involved, and what do they get in return? And that's really what I'd like to talk about in my session. Working properly, I made it flash, look. This is about investment. Yeah, that's the title of this summit. It's an investment summit. So I'm an academic. I'm not used to thinking about things in investment terms, but this is what we're talking about, isn't it? Investment. So let's think about how that plays out in terms of CGE. So, if we think about government investment in supporting SMEs in the UK, and the UK government has many programs to support SMEs. On average, for every £1 invested in supporting SMEs, the return is £2.80 on average. Actually, in the northwest of England, where we're based, it's worse than that. It's only £1.80. We measured the return on investment in CGE now, after 5 years, and the return already is £5.50, more than double the national average. And of course, these things don't happen quickly. Returns on investment in this space take time, and if we project forward to 2026, the projected return on investment, and these are figures done by independent consultants, the return on investment is more than £10. That's a pretty good investment. That's why our funders, the European Regional Development Fund, actually invest, because CGE, the mechanisms we use, is an excellent return on investment. It works. And if you think a little bit more about how it works, the mechanisms by which it works, I think it is relevant to think about that in this summit. So effectively, what the European Regional Development Fund does is set broad priority areas as well as budgets. Yeah? So they define the broader landscape. They then award budget to local, regional development organisations, I guess the equivalent of SNIDA. Those bodies are effectively part of local government, and they effectively are who we bid to for funding. So we would bid to those organisations against their local targets and against the broader ERDF priority areas. And when we get funding, if we get funding, we are then responsible for deciding how that budget is used, but fundamentally how it's used to deliver the economic and environmental targets defined by the regional organisations and by ERDF. That's the process by which our funding works, and that's the question. What word's not on that slide? If you look, there's a word that isn't there. And the word that isn't there is research. Because we are not funded to do research. We are funded to drive economic growth, to deliver environmental improvements. We do it through research. But our funders don't judge us on our research. They judge us on how we deliver to their goals. Now, we would argue CGE is an efficient return on investment because we draw on the power of research. But it's not a research project. So, CGE is funded to use high-quality research to drive clean and sustainable growth across multiple sectors. Drive clean and sustainable growth through the development of new products, processes and services. We do that clearly by working with business and other partners, and Kirk will perhaps flesh out some of the detail of some of those sectors when he talks about Recirculate. I guess that still begs the question, why is government investing in clean and sustainable growth? Well, the answer is because the green economy, that's what you want to call it, is a huge economic opportunity. Those are World Bank figures from a couple of years ago. the current global market for low carbon products and processes, $3.4 trillion. Expected to grow to $8 trillion by 2025. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an enormous economic opportunity. If we come back to my landscape in the UK government is currently going through a process of producing high-level national strategy documents, including a new strategy document for UK industry. And that's a quote from that document, not from an academic, not from an environmentalist, but from the UK government in the context of industrial